Marriage was used to clean up Cardi B's adulterated life. From stripper to rapper, when Cardi B got married, I had to stop and ask myself, what are men valuing today? Was marriage being used to clean up an adulterated life? Was the culture shifting to celebrate fast women over women with virtue and principle? Now, I try not to be too judgmental. I know people come from broken environments, and sometimes the system itself breeds the very dysfunction we see.
I'm so hyped by all of this. And a lot of people always be like, oh, her parents didn't raise her well. My parents raised me really, really great. They're amazing, and they're actually extremely strict. They are very, very strict, but I'm still from the hood. So like, I'm a product of my environment.
But in Cardi's case, she didn't just survive the system, she became one of its poster children. Her task was to normalize degeneracy, sell raunch as empowerment, and keep a whole generation distracted with WAPs, wigs, and warped values. Look around. Strippers went viral as content creators, and suddenly, everybody wanted a stripper body. Morals tossed out the window. And don't get me started on OnlyFans. By the way, see my take on OnlyFans in my previous video. Cardi B became one of the poster faces for OnlyFans. Honestly, the world was a better place before the spread of these vermin. She has zero talent. Her voice is not meant for singing. The first time I heard her voice, this is what I heard.
Pace. Who's about to run? Please tell me who can pace. Ding dong! Must be that whip to the order.
At that time, people with weird, non-singing voices were going viral, and Cardi rode that wave. Eventually, it became normalized, and people accepted her as a rapper. But she couldn't keep up with the actual writing talent. So she admitted she doesn't write and just wants to make money.
I shake my ass, I want my money back.
That alone tells you, if her goal is only to make money, she'll do and say anything, including selling a trashy lifestyle. One of the first topics I ever wanted to discuss on a podcast was my view on Offset and Cardi's relationship. This woman became a wife, mothered her first child, and still had her ass out on the stage and on camera for the world to see. She even performed on stage while pregnant. Maybe there's precedent, but I had never seen an entertainer out there with a belly. I do believe she was a plant. And as a plant, her only task was to diminish the hype around Nicki. She copied Nicki's entire look, down to the nails. Later, she even had surgeries to look more like Nicki. Look at this face. The nose is a big improvement. That's when I realized Cardi really idolized Nicki and took her assignments to heart. And you would think, being a mother of 3 and counting, she'd embrace a motherly role more. But instead, she's still singing about how wet her pussy is. Yes, WAP made waves. But why does it have to be so raunchy? Classless. Like, ma'am, 3 kids came out of that WAP. All of this was designed to rewire the values of women, especially impressionable ones. It was intended to diminish ambition in the Black community. Instead of aiming to produce leaders, the goal is to keep people stupid and satisfied at the bottom. Show them a wad of cash to flash, and others will follow. Offset to me is actually less impressive than Cardi B. And Cardi, she's a dunce. Even her sister doesn't know her ABCs. Yes, her ABCs. Offset can't even formulate a sentence to save his life. These two were picked up out of the gutter by the invisible hand, which I believe includes the feds. They literally scout the gutter for the most desperate, lackluster people and put them in front of our eyes. They give them spending money, branded clothes, and fake wealth. Then years later, you hear they're broke, homeless, or working a 9 to 5 while being clowned. How? Because they were never rich. They were flossing what was loaned to them as long as they did the bidding of their handlers. And that's why after they lose their significance, they're tossed away and end up on YouTube with a podcast or something. And it's not like I outright hate Cardi B. I'll admit I have a soft spot for her. Some folks may crucify her, but I actually think her real lane is in comedy or reality shows. But still, learn some class. That's something her mother should have taught her, but clearly couldn't pass down. And while we're here, why is there smoke for Tyler, but none for Cardi B? Who, in my opinion, is Afro-Latina. Because let's be honest, Latinas and Latinos are all mixed. Often we're black, just looking less black.
Where do them Spanish people came from? Where them Latina people came from? They mixed people, you know. We mix with African, European, mulattic and everything, and it's just like, what am I considered? And at the end of the day, like Latinos and Hispanic, they are considered a minority. Like you think white folks see Hispanic and black people like oh yeah, they're Hispanic, they're black. No, we are all considered the same to them. So it's like,
the problem with Cardi is that she acts like she's above the people who support her. She had no artist development. When she came in, every criticism got a response. She admitted she's sensitive. Celebrities used to avoid engaging, but this new wave reacts for clout. I'm not saying they can't defend themselves, but there's a saying, choose your battles wisely. Cardi chose all of them dumb. And let me say this, it's distasteful when she tells fans she wishes death on their mothers. She clowns women's bodies only for hers to look like it belongs in a circus. Look at this mess. Is it supposed to be sexy? She once had a decent body, but now it needs to be retired. No matter how you dress it, it's not appealing. It looks like it's falling apart, fat disintegrating. She needs to reduce that ass and those breasts which sit like bread dough. It looks nasty in clothes. God bless Stefan's eyes. Because why does she look like that? She should be taking body notes from Ciara, Kelly, and Beyonce. Because this ain't it. Or better, be natural like Rihanna. I was surprised Offset even married Cardi in the first place. But the more I watched, the more I realized he's not above her. He's not beneath her. They're the same moldy bread and moldy cheese. He wifed her for publicity and potential earnings, and now he's backing away because the situation is too hot even for him.